Today I am going to explain about the MQ and MB interaction. What is the MQ and what is the MB? MQ and MB is the middleware tool from IBM company. What are the middleware tools in the market? Apart from the MQ and MB, we have different middleware tools in market. First one is an Webmethods, TIBCO, Oracle SOA, lot of middleware tools in the market. Why most of the people or companies is implementing the MQ and MB as a middleware tool is this is the good product to interact between the two legacy systems. Here legacy system is nothing but whatever the source machine which is running in any OS, any application. The same way the target machine, whatever the OS it is running, is any other OS apart from the any other application softwares. In between these two legacy systems, we provide the communication without changing the target or source machines, applications and OS. Just here coming to the MQ. MQ itself is a messaging and queuing. What is the messaging and what is the queuing? Messaging is nothing but the data whatever we want to communicate from the source machine to target machine is called a message. Second one is a queuing. Queuing is nothing but is a place to store the or to hold the message for some period of time. Here the MQ is a purely administration purpose. Here there is no development. It just receives the message and hold the message up to described period of time. After that automatically the queue is removing once it reaches the target machine. Coming to the message, there's a different type of message is available. Generally we have the report type of message, request type message, reply type message and data messages. There's a four main types. Coming to the request type of messages, the request whatever which we are sending. Before explaining about the message types, first I will explain about the history of the MQ. Okay, fine. See here, messaging fundamentals. This is whatever I'm telling is there, but basically here showing the fire and forget and request and response. See here the application communicate how it is going to communicate from source to target. In this diagram, see the fire and forget is nothing but when we are sending the message from source machine to the MQ software. From there we have the MQ server version software is running. Here we have two types of software is the MQ client and the MQ server. So everything whatever the MQ manager is the one of the main component which is the first point of contact within the MQ server. When the program is sending the message from source machine to the MQ server, the queue manager will receive, the queue manager will contact with the application, and whatever the message is sending from the source machine to the queue, particular queue will receive the message. And again under the queue manager there is a lot of objects is available. There is a queues, channels, listeners, process definitions, client connections, name list and authentications, etc. Everything will be used for a specific purpose, and this MQ is a purely administration purpose. And here just as a MQ admin, we are going to checking whether the messages is communicating from source machine to target machine or not, etc. And here see, as per diagram, the fire and forget. Here just we are sending the message to the queue and we didn't expect any reply from the target machine. Means here program B is the target machine. And second one is an request or response type. Means once first you send the message from source machine to the queue manager. From queue managers to that will receive, the target machine will read the message from the queue manager, and again that is going to give the reply to queue. From reply to queue to the again that's reached to the source machine. Here source machine is the programmer. Means the program is sending the message to the program B. The same way the program B is giving the reply to the program A. This is called the request and response. And in our regular sessions, I will explain about the more detail. So what's exactly request and response, how, and I will show everything is a practical orientation. Coming to the message, I told you MQ is messaging and queuing. Message nothing but is a combination of the header and application data. As per the slideshow here, the header, a message consists of a header and the attached application data. Application data is the visual data which is sending from source to target machine, and the header has the information in which target machine that needs to reach, because the target machine details and some other data like message ID, correlation ID. There is a lot of properties included in the header information. And see here, the headers typically contain the elements like unique message ID and routing information, means where that needs to reach, and message format, in which format. There is different formats is available, so see XML format, CW formats, etc. And second one is the data. The following what is the data? I told you data is maybe a normal data or request type of reply type of or report type of. See, in coming to the here, a record from an index of file, there is also one type of data, and a row from a DB2 file, that is also one type of data, and individual columns from DB2 tables, that may be one type of data, and multiple rows or records, these are one type of data. So a lot of these are the different type of data. Coming to the queue, up to now I had explained about the message. Now I am going to explain about the queue. The queue is simply a place to put the data. I told you the queue is hold the data which is receiving from the source application. See, as per the diagram, program A is sending the data to the queue and program B is getting the data from the queue. Here we have the one more concept, the MQI calls, and how the application is connecting with the MQ software, MQ server. Next slide I will show you the architecture of the MQ software. There is a lot of properties for the message. See, here I am showing in this slide is the architecture, the runtime architecture of the MQ software. See, as per the diagram, application C is assumed that application in C language means the source machine which is running in the application C, the C language, and the OS is assumed that it's a Unix or Linux, whatever it. And assume that application .NET means there is a target machine, and the applications which are running in the target machine is the .NET applications. And assume that the OS is the Windows. So source machine is a Linux and target machine is the Windows applications. How these two systems is communicating? By using the MQ tool. See, in source machine side and the same way the target machine side, we have the MQI, means message queuing interface. Interface is nothing but the program which is communicating between the source version MQ software. When you are going to writing the application developers will use the MQI calls. Originally the MQI message queuing interface are the calls, means there are the commands internally, those are used for the specific purpose. We have around 13 MQI calls in our application. By using that, the application developer will develop the applications. See here, as per diagram, the application source machine is communicating with the MQ client by using the MQI interface calls. I told you in MQ, the first point of contact is the queue manager. Under the queue manager, we have the other objects like queues, channels, listeners, process definitions, name list, authentications, etc. See here, the MQ objects means there has a queue, the circle is notation, and that you have the messages. So from source machine to the target machine, that the MQ is transferring the message, and the target machine will receive the message, and that will send to the data application data to the version application. This is the runtime architecture. And once we start the regular sessions, we will discuss about the in-depth about the architecture and how it is communicating exactly, and how the calls and what are the calls and what are the syntax for the calls, where we are going to using, who is using these calls, everything I will explain you. And coming to the message, see here in this slideshow, just I am going to give the brief introduction about the message, as how what is can already I have explained about you. Message has two parties, one is the header and one is the application data. The same way here also two properties, two paths is available the message, and there are other properties available for the messages also. One is a priority, expiry, put application name, put data, and persistence. And put application name and put data, these two properties are using by the application developers, whether maybe it's .NET application developers or maybe it's Java application developers or some other application developers. Whoever is using the source machine, what they want to send the message, in that time they will mention the in which application is showing and data, etc. Apart from that, if you want to assign the priorities, expiry, and persistence also, and these concepts I will explain about our regular sessions. Here, just I am going to give the brief overall introduction about the what is the priority and what is the expiry, what is the application name and date, etc. And before starting the demo, I had explained about where the four types of the messages is there. One is the datagram, request, reply, and report. These again I will explain you about in our regular sessions. Now, coming to our syllabus, here whatever I am showing is the overall the syllabus, but apart from this I am going to explain in our regular sessions more concepts. First I will explain about the introduction. These are for demo purpose, just I am giving a brief introduction only. Once I start the regular sessions, we are going to discussing about the in-depth concepts. So introduction and types of messages and runtime architecture and characteristics of the MQ, MQ objects, classification of queues, classification of channels, MQI calls, MQ installation. This is the one of the major part. This is a one-time activity, the MQ software installation, creating the objects, triggering, distributed queuing, control commands, MQAC commands, triggering in command prompt, Here we have the two versions of the softwares in our training purpose, Windows based and Linux or Unix based, means flavor based. Generally in practice our training we are working with the Windows application, Windows OS and compatible softwares. The same way here, Windows triggering and the Linux are command prompt triggering. What are the command prompt which we are going to explain in the next sessions is equal to the production server or live box. What are the commands we are going to, the same command is going to execute as well. But the main difference between the Windows applications and the flavor applications, flavor OS is the syntax, the file system is the somewhat different. Other than that, everything is fine. And next one is in security and SSL configuration. Everything I will explain you. And distributed queuing in command prompt, backup and recovery, troubleshooting, clustering, and security. Apart from these things, I am going to explain in our regular sessions, like what are the regular problems we are getting and what's the regular work as a MQ admin, etc. I will explain to you. Coming to the regular day-to-day work, we have the other document types, HDDs, LEDs, everything I will explain, means high level documents HLD and low level document LLD, and what is the use and what is the purpose and what is the role of the MQ admin, everything I will explain you. Here basically the MQ is a purely administration. Here there is no development. And coming to the this is the syllabus and the structure, everything. Once I will start the regular sessions, I will explain you detailedly. And coming to the market, currently the market is always very good because MQ is the powerful tool to to transfer the messages between the two legacy systems. That's why most of the companies or clients, they are implementing this MQ tool. Now I am going to explain about the MQ. Before that, so now I am going to the MB. Before explaining about the MB, what is the use of the MB? Why we are going to use the MB in real-time environments? See, coming to the scenario, for example, when the source machine is sending the message to source 2 and target machine, just whatever the message the source machine is sending, just hold the message and just send the message to target machine. There's a job of the MQ software. Coming to MB, MB means the message broker. Broker means it is like a mediator between the source machine to the target machine. Assume that I have the one source application, I'm sending the message to the target machine. But apart from this, I would like to customize the message before sending to the target machine. Anyhow, for that, now I am going to show about the MB clearly here. See here. See. What is before starting the message broker, first we need to discuss about the business needs. Every business is different from the one type of, because the business to business, the method and the logic will be different, or sometimes may be similar, but there is a little bit changes inside the business. That is depending on their business rules. See, before implementing any MB, first I will explain what is the MB. It's message broker. That is using for the customization. Here that I will show in here in this slide shows. before anything we are doing, first we need to understand what is the business needs of the customer. Based on the business needs of the customer, we are going to implement the tools. See here, in this slideshow, see the application is sending message to the target machine application. So for that, connectivity between the two systems. First one, information that flows between business systems can come from and be sent to different type of applications and processes also. I told you the MQ and MB tool is using to communicate between the two legacy systems. See here the different type of applications. In whatever the architecture I have taken as a application in C and application .NET, both are different applications. The same here mentioned, and those are the ranging from large legacy systems to unmanned devices such as sensors and pipelines. Come to the next slideshow. See here, if it is a two systems, then there is no confusion. See here, in this diagram, there is a lot of applications. It may be within the business also there are a lot of applications. For example, one application, they have internally 4 to 5 types of applications like Java, .NET, PHP, or SAP they are using. Apart from the internal business, if they want to communicate the outside of the business applications, means the target machines they are running, there may be some other applications, maybe mainframes or PeopleSoft, whatever it is. See, as per diagram, it's getting the confusion, and every time we are going to establish the one more connection for the every application is getting even the clumsy picture. See, connecting multiple applications is easier if messages can be routed through a single hub. See, instead of connecting to the previous one, now I am using the only single hub. So it's a clear picture compared to the previous one. See here is the previous here. How the message is transferring from one to one is getting the confusion. But as per the single hub, see, multiple applications for single point. See, everything is clear. Just you send the message from the source to the hub. From hub, that is sending the message to the whatever the target machine. And second one is the message transformation and enrichment. See, these are different type of formats. If you are trying to send the application, see, as per the replay the diagram, the application, the format is one type, and you are sending the message to the same type to the target machine. I told you there may be legacy systems. The source application, it may be running on the C language. The syntax and the business of the coding, the limitations, everything may be different. And if you are using target machine to .NET, the syntax is different. The C language is different, syntax is different, and the .NET language syntax is different. Then how the target machine will understand the source machine's message formats? That doesn't understand directly. That's why here mentioned message transformation and enrichment. The format and content of the information required by each business application can be very different. That's why, so exchanging message is easier if the format of the data and the content of the message is transformed and enriched while the message in transit. See, in previous slideshow, I told you here we have the MQ and MB. MQ just that is receiving the message and sending the message to the target machine. But coming to MB, if the message format is maybe different or same, when the message format is different, the target machine didn't understand the source machine message. In that time, we are going to customize the message as per the target machine's format. See here, as per this diagram, the application is sending message and the hub that is going to customize or converting the format to the whatever the target message understandable format. and content based routing. See here, based on the content, when you are going to sending the message from source to the hub, how it know in which machine that needs to sending the message. See, that is called the content based routing. Sender applications might not know the final destination of a message, because when I am sending the one message from my system from source, that need to send more than one application, one target machine. Then how it is going to know in which message and which part of the message need to send to the which target machine? The system doesn't know in that time. That's why that's here explained. Sender application might not know the final destination of a message. This means the message have to be sent to every application on a network, increasing the number of information flows. In MB, everything we are calling as a interfaces, means nothing but a message flows. This is a technical terminology we are using. See, the target machine, see now this slides show that's going to verify date, what are the message inside that one, and in which application that need to send. That format is going to dynamical chaining. The target messages at the correct recipient is easier if the decision on where to send the message is based on information in the message. See, an event-driven integration. Business need to be able to respond quickly and effectively to information about events. These events can be reported from any device at any time, anywhere in the world. And here, once I start the regular sessions, I will explain you once again these concepts in depth. Just here I am explaining about what is the use of the MB. See here, using our business systems, when you are sending the message, that's going to receiving the 3 target machines, and we are getting the reply from the 3 target machines, and that will combining as a 1, and that's going to receiving the same sender. Again, see the visual, how it is going to distribute the 3 target machines with their formats. Same way, reply and sending receiving as a single message. So, see here, the up to now we had explained as I had told the terminal is the hub, means the center point. The center point is called the WebSphere message broker. Up to now, whatever we have discussed, everything will be done by the message broker only. See, WebSphere message broker addresses the connectivity, message transformation, content-based routing, and event-driven integration needs of your business. So, first one is the connectivity. I have explained you from source to target. Second is the message transformation. Third one is the content. Based on the content only is going to send in. And fourth one is the event-driven. See, everything will be done by the WebSphere message broker. See, those are the business needs. Again, see, the message broker is doing all the things. What are the format is sending the sender, and that will convert to the target machine format, and that will send to the target machines. This is the business needs of the MB. Coming to the components, WebSphere message broker consists of number of components. See, as the diagram here, we have 2 different applications sending the message, and the broker, through broker, that is going to convert the message formats, see, and send to target machines. Check this one, the diagram carefully. Application sending, that's converting and send to target machine. Another application and another target machine with their own format. The format is different. The message broker that's going to convert the formats, the data to the target specified format, means target understandable format. See, I told you every broker they have the, here we call this interfaces or message flows. There's a lot of messages. The broker is a place to execute the message flows or interfaces in dynamically. A message flow describes the operations to be performed on the incoming message and the sequence in which they will be carried out. Before the message is sent to its final destination, message flows are run in execution group. And here, once I start the regular session, I will explain what are the execution groups and what is the default execution group and what is the broker and what is the broker domain, and there is a components basic architecture that will be explained about the message broker. See here, come to here, message sets. A message set contains one or more message definitions that define valid structures and formats for the broker to use. See how the source application is running on the C application, C language, and target application is running on the Java. Assume that the C syntax is, the language syntax is different, Java syntax is different. How the broker know in which type of format the target machine, and how we are going to validate the messages which is receiving from the sender. That will be by the help of the message sets we are going to do. See, observe the screen, the messages, there's different message sets here. When a message arrives the broker, proceed using message flows and message set. See, carefully observe the scenario. Application sending the message based on the message sets, the message flow is executing. Step again, see this one, the green symbols. The first one green, second tag. These are using in the message sets to validate the data and sending to target machine. See, there is a lot of brokers in the broker domain. It's called as a broker domain. Brokers are grouped into broker domain. See, entire this one is called a broker domain. Each broker domain is coordinated by a configuration manager. The configuration manager is a mediator between the MB tool to brokers in the broker domain. Anyhow, once again I will explain about these things in our regular sessions. See, observe the configuration manager is connecting with the every message flow, or is called as an interface. In technical terminology we call it as an interfaces. Generally when you went to the interviews, they will ask how many interfaces you had implemented or work. Interface is nothing but the one message flow. See here, the toolkit. I told you the configuration manager is the mediator. See, the application developers create and modify message flows and messages using the message broker toolkit. To develop any application, we need one IDE, means integrated development environment or development environment. Without the environment, you can't develop the applications as robust or speedy. If you have the proper development environment tool, it's easy to implement the applications. Otherwise, it's not possible to implement the applications quickly. See, the toolkit communicates. Once you develop the message broker, the interface in the toolkit, with the help of the configuration manager, we are going to deploy into the brokers in the broker domain. After that, once the execution is starting, the application is sending a message. See, observe the carefully this slide. So, as per diagram, we are going as a MB developer, and before explaining about the MB, I need to explain about the job roles. Here we have two types of roles is there: administration role and developer role. Admin roles means to deploying the application from toolkit to the brokers in the broker domain. That's called the administration, because to publish or to sending the message flows to interfaces to the brokers in the broker domain. Coming to the development, the message flows and message says is developed by the developer. And here we are using the ESQL is the one of the language we are using here. Extended structures query. It is similar to as in SQL language. And if you want to use the Java, you can use, there is a separate components for this one like PHP, Java. If you are comfort as a source application is comfortable, the source application developer is comfortable with the language. If it is Java or PHP, they can use it directly in MB also with their language syntax. That I will explain you in regular sessions. So each application developer works in a separate instance of the message broker. There's a lot of, because for example, assume that in our team we have the 4 to 5 members. So everyone has a toolkit, but there may be chance to everyone is individually developing the interfaces. And this everything will be depending on the client environment, and the environment will be decided by the architect in implementation time. See, now the repository is a concept. A repository can be used to provide access control and version control. It also allows multiple developers to work on the same resources in parallel. If the same interface, if the 2 or 3 persons need to work, with the help of the repository, we are going to work. And also the version controlling. When you are going to the version to version means once you develop application, save the deploy the application, there is called a one version. Again, you want to change the application, the interfaces for any other purpose, then again you need to develop the modifications inside the interfaces. And next one is on configuration. See here, the message brokers toolkit is a graphical user interface for the product. The toolkit I will show you once we enter into the regular sessions, and different perspectives in the message brokers toolkit like development, administration, debugging, etc. are used to develop and deploy message flows and messages, and to administer one or more broker domains. And a repository can be used to provide access control and version control. It also allows multiple developers to work on the same resource in parallel. Previously, we had a discussion about the just was a repository. Anyhow, in the regulations, I will explain you once again. And configuration maze. I told you configuration maze is a mediator between the toolkit and the brokers in the broker domain. Just that is sending or pushing the message interfaces from the toolkit to the runtime environment. The broker in the broker domain is called the runtime environment. See, the configuration manager coordinates all activity. For example, changes to the set between the message broker toolkit and the brokers within its domain. This is called the toolkit. This is called the brokers in the broker domain. See, individually there is a lot of brokers will be there. The system admins create one or more brokers. I told you we have the administration and also development in MB part. The system admins creates one or more brokers. Each broker uses a database to store the information. That's depending on the version. In version 5.3, in version 5.3, for configuration manager and broker individually we need one database. In version 6.1, they have removed the database for the configuration manager and they put the data into the file system level. So based on the versions only, whether the database is mandatory or optional. Those things I will explain you on regular sessions only. But as per diagram, every broker they have the individual databases. See here, where we are going to use the MQ. See, the system administrator uses IBM MQ messaging between the message brokers toolkit and the configuration manager and the brokers. See, observe the slideshow once again. Where is the MQ? This is the job. I told you MQ is just transferring the messages from source to target. Here also See, observe this one. These are points in the MQ objects. See, when the application is sending the message through application MQ, observe the slideshow. Application side there is a MQ, and the application here also there is MQQs. This can also be used for communication between applications and brokers in addition to other transports such as JMS and web services also. Anyhow, I will explain everything in depth once we start the regular sessions. See here, the system administration has created and connected the components of the broker domain. Application developers can use the message brokers toolkit to create and deploy message flows and message sets, and developing message flows and message definitions. See, this is called the our development environment of the MB. See, I told you different perspectives available here. Broker application, apart from this, broker administration and debugging, etc. Other tools is available. Tools and the perspectives. See here, this is the way the message flows are we are going to designing or implementing. And I will explain the what's the MQ. There is a lot of notes is available here, lot of things that I will explain you in our regular sessions. See here, everything is in nodes. I will explain about what are the nodes in MB. And apart from this, see the next slide show everything. Here in this point of view, you may get some little bit confusion. But once we start the regular sessions, I will explain you everything, whatever I am going to show here. This is like a drag and drop simply and connecting the nodes. Here node is nothing but the already defined program which for a specific purpose. Just we are going to use those things and we are developing the applications means interfaces. Anyway, once I start the development, then I will show you. This is called a message sets for this one. How we are going to communicate, how we are going to mapping from source to target. In this point of time, don't bother about this one. And this is the syntax, the ESQL I told you language. Again, I will explain what is the ESQL. More complex manifestations of message data can be achieved by using the ESQL language. Apart from this ESQL, we have the Java and XML transformations also. See, messages. Assume that this is a message. The structure of a message is defined by the logical components of information within it, represented as a tree. See, with the help of the message sets. See, this is a sample message which we are the application is sending. And is going to understanding that message as a like this tree individually. Later that is going to sending the message to the data to the see. Because here previously we are sending as XML format, now it's a flat file, means the text file format. Again that's going to assume understand this one as a like this tree structure. See, date, product ID and quantity, because with the help of the message sets, these things I will explain you our regular sessions. Don't bother in this time, just for your understanding purpose only, just I am showing the slideshows. In development I will show you how we are going to mapping these things. See, this everything I will explain you. In deployment, how we are going to deploy the bar files. First we are going to convert the interface to the .bar files, and that files we are going to deploy into the brokers in the broker domain. We have two types is there, direct deployment and drag and drop. Everything I will explain in our regular sessions. When a deployment is initiated, the message flows are compiled and packaged and sent to the configuration manager. From the configuration manager unpacks the makes a record of the message flows and routes them to the appropriate brokers. See, in which broker that needs to do, the configuration will be deployed at one. The information of the interface will be available in the database of the brokers. That's why everything there is in the broker database. Say only one configuration may be enough for all the things based on the scenario. Once it deployed, there is no connection between the configuration manager and the broker. See, as per diagram. Once it deployed, there is no connection between the configuration manager and the brokers in the broker domain. Just individually are going to working. This is the one type of mechanism. This I will explain you once we start the regular sessions. See, just publish and subscribe. This is one mechanism which we are going to. Yeah, these things I will show you in our regular sessions. So a lot of things is there. Now I'm going to, and apart from this, here I have showed you only for message queue syllabus, and here MB syllabus I will explain you the introduction of the MQ and installation and nodes, and most of the work in around 75 to 85% of the work we are going to work on the interface only. Interfaces we are going to use the nodes like MQ input, MQ output, compute, message flows, subflows, and input, output. A lot of nodes is there. Everything I will discuss in that one in MB's regular session. And apart from that, now I will tell you the syllabus overall, just briefly, not all the syllabus. And the database nodes we have, database in, and most of the cases we are going to work with the database in MB side. Because as a developer we are going to validate the data with the help of the database, and filters, publish and subscribe mechanisms, subflows I told you. So apart from some other components like the inputs, the nodes which we are going to use our interfaces, everything will be discussed on in our regular sessions. And apart from that, we have try, catch nodes, etc. and data insert, data out, database, data update, data delete, and I will show the file transfers between the source to target machine, etc. Apart from that, troubleshooting, security, and the deployment. Here I will explain about the both MB part and MB development part and MB admin part, both, once we start the regular sessions. This is the overall introduction about the MB.